Ladies and gentlemen of the United States of America, welcome to another Fun2Mental Podcast. I am your host.
I'm not Donald Trump, but we are going back to the part 2.
Yes.
Part 2 of red flags in relationships.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pick up where we left off. What was the question that you asked?
Where we left off is if you have a relationship and you have friends of the opposite sex, is that a red flag?
Do you think it's a red flag?
It can be. I mean, a certain length, it's healthy. I think if your friend comes over, knows your partner, hangs out with your partner, and your partner is okay with it and sees there's nothing happening with his side, on his side, I think can be very healthy, but also it can also turn into a red flag real quick because that line is very thin. Because when are you gonna decide, oh, what my friend is doing now is a red flag or toxic, and when it's just being close friends?
I understand. Oh, it's a very great area.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
The way I view it is like this. Friends will always be the family you kind of choose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also important, especially in a friendship of the opposite sex, what is the purpose of that friendship?
Mm-hmm.
What is truly the purpose? Because I'm just gonna pull the cat out the bag. This is one thing. It doesn't matter if you are emotionally or physically attracted to that person. You and that person are attracted to each other. Either it can be personality wise, it can be physical, whatever. But every friendship, you attract something towards the other person and vice versa. So you cannot assume, oh yeah, he's just a friend, we're not attracted to each other. You are attracted to something. Either it's personality or that you like the same stuff. That's an attraction. So there's nothing wrong with it.
It's not sexual.
It's not sexual, but in the end of the day, you can be attracted to someone. The problem is, what do you do about it?
Yeah.
So in this friends of the opposite sex, it's really important to know two things. One, men are physically possessive. We are territorial as hell when it comes to stuff that is ours. Women are emotionally territorial. Yeah. So we always bickering and whatnot, especially when it's man and a woman conversation. But women are more emotionally possessive and men are physically possessive. So why is it a thread or a thin line between when it's a friendship of the opposite sex? Is because you have to be aware of what her weakness is at and what his weakness is at. You know, so that's why I think you said that example of what if she gets jealous of me and a friend that is of the opposite sex. In my case, I'm a married man now, and I don't give attention as I used to. And she says, what if she gets jealous of it? It comes back because it's an emotional possession.
Yeah, because you don't spend a lot of time with your friends anymore. And some women or men too have a hard time with that. Like, oh, before this, we were together every day. We texted every day. And now the time that you gave me, you're spending on another human. You know, and some cannot digest it really good. Like, oh, he's in a relationship, I'm just a friend. So his lady or man comes before me.
So if you have a hard time digest, drink water with your thirsty ass. Back to but that's just what it is. People need to learn that a lot of things change, especially when you get married. There's just some things you do And it's not specifically where when it came to us, it's not that we decided, okay, the moment we got married, we're not going to do these things anymore. Not at all. It came pretty natural. It's just like right now, it just feels weird. It feels weird to hang out unless you have somebody of the same sex with you or not.
They should never know what happens.
Exactly. Like, you never know what happens. And it doesn't necessarily have to come from the person who's married. Because this is something that my wife already thought was, it gets heavier when you actually are married.
Yeah.
And I can testify to that. That's why I take a lot of distance.
Forbidden fruit always tastes better.
Yeah, forbidden fruit does taste better. Look what happened to Adam and Eve. See? Not happiness is forbidden. No, I'm just kidding. That's what God said. Hey. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on if you're in a relationship, right? Or let me say you're in a friendship. You have you and your best friends. Right. And you go out and you meet somebody that can be potentially a new best friend later on. And the best friend that you have already said, no, I don't want you to have another best friend. It's only me. I'm your best friend. Would you say that's just like on the clean side, or is that already a red flag?
Does this stuff happen with male friendships?
Yes.
I never experienced that. Because if something like that happens, I'll be like, you're in love with me or something?
No.
Because this is something that is is boggling my mind. It's like, why would you, as a best friend, not allow your friend to have other friends? Because this is the thing. You have to eventually understand that just because you're friends, it doesn't mean you're going to be friends forever. It doesn't mean that it's going to last long. Hey, first of all, shout out to my brothers on this one. We've been together for almost 10 plus years and never had a beef with another, but we never prevented each other from having other friends, because you meet people along your own way. And they can motivate you and whatnot. And some people are there just to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
So if somebody does that to me, that's when I'm like.
But would you consider that a red flag?
It's, I don't know. Red flag falls in the stupid category. I'll call that a stupid flag. Niggas up here putting the oopid and stupid. No, don't be doing that to me. Nah, man. We're grown people. The hell? Nah, son. What? Is it really clear horror?
So here it goes again. But what is a big red flag that happened to you in a friendship, or that you see as a big red flag?
A lot of them happen. The beginning of a friendship, that's always I said it before, I'm not a big fan of the honeymoon phase. So in the beginning of a friendship, everything's just nice. And me, accordingly, I've noticed something maybe I have to work on that is a part of manifesting. But I'm like, when stuff is too smooth and there are no crossroads or whatever in friendships, that's I start to question it myself. Because, the brothers that I have, like, we grew up together. There's no specific reason for us to argue. You know what I'm saying? But especially guys that I meet. And the thing is, the older you get, the more demands and you have and friendships and whatnot. So to me, what bothers me is like those men that cannot talk, cannot deal with confrontation, but got the biggest mouth to say whatever they want to say behind your back.
Like a chihuahua, right?
Man, all bark, no bite. Yo, bro, that's when I bite only. And I bark later. That's my issue right here. Because me, I'm like, you either say how it is or get out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird because men are supposed to be simple. And when they get a little too complicated, I'm like, okay, that's not a little too much on the soft side. And no, don't be attacking me on the comments. Talk about, ooh, why can't men be sensitive? Men are emotional too. I'm just saying that as a man, you should be clear about your boundaries. You should be clear on what you want and what you demand and whatnot.
Not only men.
Not only men, but in women, mostly on friendships with women. I cannot speak for women, of course, unless you agree with what I say. Women do not trust women.
Yeah.
So, because and not everybody
are, or can be. Not
exactly. So when it comes to us men, we just say you have to say how it is, because you cannot be throwing shade about this guy, or especially we talk about these niggas ain't nothing, like I can't trust niggas and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, but have you spoke to him about it? Like, I ain't gotta say nothing.
Yeah.
You don't. But here you are bickering and barking all the time. But to me, that's it. Like, say what you want, deal with confrontation, because nobody else is gonna come to save you and do the talk for you.
Yeah.
Only you know what you're feeling. So it's the wise thing to do. That's the biggest red flag to me, is like when you cross a boundary when the boundary has already been communicated.
Yeah, understand.
Yours.
Dr. Phil.
I think you better leave her alone.
I'll explain. And I study psychology. Yeah, and I know a lot of counseling terms. I know a lot of how I know human behavior and all that. And since I was young, I love studying people. And
you should see the books that she reads.
And so what happened to me a lot is in friendships, I was Dr. Phil, meaning they came to me for advice. Okay, I still am sometimes, but I put boundaries on that. But it was like when something happened, and for example, their relationship, they were fighting, they would come to me, and I could just understand both sides and help them communicate with each other and, fix things and then be together again. And in a span of time, like, they only came to me for that. And if something was fun or it was good times, so I heard nothing, like radio silence. Like you could hear the crickets in the background. I
think even the critics left. The crickets were like, shoot, I'm out of here. It's too silent.
Yeah, so if that happens all the time, you're going to feel used as a friend. You feel like, oh, I'm only here to solve your problems, but when we need to celebrate something or something fun, I don't hear from you.
You ghost.
Yeah, exactly. So eventually, I even had a couple of times that the boyfriend fell in love with me because of that.
Yeah, but I understand, because this is what a situation is, especially in relationships like that. When you have a woman that is not much of making drama and whatnot, because at the end of the day, it's not really a woman's job to be emotionally stable. At least that's what they say. Me personally, I'm like, if you're not emotionally stable or you don't know how to have your emotions in check, you cannot raise a family, because at the end of the day, it's like the woman nests the house.
Yeah.
A man might build it, but the woman nests. So it's as important as a man. It's just the roles are different. So when a man is in a relationship with a woman that just complains, and he can actually have a logic conversation with another woman, that itself is a red flag in that situation, because no matter how hard he tries to have a communication with his own girlfriend, and doesn't work like that, but somebody outside understands his point of view, and you having a helicopter view just like me, that can be a red flag. So that's why you have to be careful who you talk to.
Yeah, that was really hard, because I want to be still friends with that person, because when I was younger, I didn't saw that as something bad, being the Dr. Phil. Now I put a lot of boundaries on that, and I'm like, yo, you can come to me for advice, but I'm not gonna meddle. I'm not gonna play counselor again. I'm not gonna.
It's not a bad thing, but the way I see it recently, especially when you have friends, that a lot of friends feel that they cannot measure up to your behavior. That's sometimes how you present yourself. Because a lot of friends look at you like, man, he really got his shit together. Like I cannot talk to him unless it's something deep. And in a lot of friendships, they cannot be open. You still have to kind of toughen up and create this mask in a way that you're still accessible in a friendship, but you cannot be at your best or at your worst. It's like that friendship only demands that you're in between.
The same level as them?
Yeah, you either got to be in the same level or got to be above the level. But when you emotionally intelligent, especially in the relationships, because most relationships is created or exists out of something stupid, and when people realize that you're kind of different and do not know, that brings some kind of, it brings some kind of awareness and also some kind of insecurity mixed together, that they kind of think like, yo, if I talk to him about whatever, is he still gonna talk to me? Is he gonna think I'm weird and all that stuff? All that internal battle comes in. So they feel like, okay, I can only talk to him when I have problems, because this is the only time I feel like he's gonna feel important and I'm gonna feel like I matter. But that's not how it is. Just because you have the opportunity or you develop this emotional intelligence doesn't mean you're still not human. And that's what a lot of people cannot forget. Just because we are able to advise people, it doesn't mean we don't like to have fun and whatnot. It's just that sometimes that's what happens, especially around women. Women, when they see another woman that actually has her emotions together, they directly assume, oh, I cannot hang out with her because she's too high class for me. Same thing happens to men. Like, if you ask how he's doing, and the comparison, right? It goes back to that comparison thing. Comparison is the thief of joy, so don't forget that. And friendships, you really got to scratch that. You got to be there at their best, and you got to be there at their worst. And trust me, it's worth it, because your friendships and the friendships you keep are gonna literally represent you in a relationship. And I don't care how you put it.
I'm curious, what was your red flag in a friendship, or something toxic that you did that you maybe I'm not doing right now anymore?
I wouldn't call it toxic, but eventually people got way too used. They got way too used of me always taking the first step and asking how they doing. And the moment I decided to say, you know what, I'm going to take a step back, people start directly assume I don't want to talk to them. But that's how it was. Like, you emotionally invest into it, and people get used to it and they don't want to do it anymore. And then when you do it, they feel like it's your fault because you're not doing what you used to. So I wouldn't call that a red flag. It's just a boundary that I had to set for myself. Which ghosting is also a big thing in a friendship. And just to break this down, you do not have to see each other every time. You do not have to text constantly.
I have a good quote on that. I'm a person, I am not good at maintaining friendship or contact. And I was really bothered by it, because I saw a lot of friends go because they didn't hear me for a long time or didn't see me for a long time. Because I'm a person, I'm really like on my own. I love being alone. So for me, social events are really draining.
Right.
So even maintaining contact is really draining. So I force myself a lot of times to go out with them a lot or talk to them a lot, and at a certain part that I could not give anymore. And then I heard somebody say, there are roses and there are cactuses. A rose needs a lot of maintaining, a lot of attention, a lot of love into it for it to grow. And a cactus just needs a little bit of water once in a while, and it's good. And
So you want to be friends with a cactus?
no, they say like friendships are that you have roses. People they want to contact a lot, want to see you a lot. I have cactuses like me who are more on their own and just once in a while see how you're doing or let's meet. And so you really have to find out if you're a flower, if you're a rose or a cactus, and then look for other cactuses or roses in friendships.
I don't know. It's just something that is really happening, especially around this generation, is entitlement and avoiding confrontation, and also assuming that a friendship is somebody that you gotta have attached to your hip every day.
But do you think if in a friendship you're gonna, because what I see a lot, I'm a person, I'm straight to the point. And sometimes I can come across as a bit harsh because I say what's on my mind. And a lot of people took it personally and left the friendship, which I let them, they have every right to, it was just not meant to be. But I think a lot of people, especially if you care for that person, they are scared if they confront them, they will lose them.
No, it's you can be straightforward, but one thing is being straightforward, and you thought about how you say it. That just say whatever's on your mind that you know that has no meaning to it. That's the difference. I've dealt with straightforward people all my life. Well, somebody just says something because that's just what's on my mind. I have to let it out like a fart. Then I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And that's what I say. You break wind with your ass, not with your mouth. So, but it goes back to that. My advice for people is, of true friendship is not that friendship that you gotta see each other every day. You don't have to contact each other every day. But the moment y'all together, it's like y'all never left each other's side. That genuine thing that you have, if you have that in a friendship, I guarantee you it's gonna last long. If not, it requires too much work and it feels like it's a burden to talk to that person or just initiate conversation. I'm just saying, man, like really look for and redefine what you want in a friendship. And is it a long-term friendship that you want to have? Doesn't necessarily mean you have to force it, but this is something that you really have to reflect on, because how you are in friendships is how you're going to lead the rest of your life. That's just what it is.
I want to leave it on a positive note. You have a beautiful friendship with your brothers. I truly admire that. What is one biggest thing that you learned from this friendship?
Don't put each other's business out there. And this is something that I do in my marriage. I don't talk to other people about my marriage. And whatever I say is something that is aware and can be conversated in general, but I never put my personal business out there, and I never do my personal business with my brothers. And also really cherish and say whatever is bothering you. You can be straightforward, but you also can be straightforward with love. And if you know a person long enough, being straightforward won't bother you. If it bothers you, that means you are not used to it, or that person never has been fully honest with you. That's how it is. There's this quote that goes, if you got a problem with me, text me. If you don't have my number, you shouldn't have a problem with me in the first place.
Then that's a good quote. I think it's a beautiful way to end this episode.
Y'all wanted more? Nah. We'll go with the next topic next time, I think.
Yes, It's a bit of fun topic, not as serious.
Yeah, it's not going to be as serious. I'm tired of just...
Because it's mental.
Just to stand here and be like, if you got a problem, please don't text now.
Well, this is it for today, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.
Hit the notification button and
That's all, folks.
We'll see you next time. Bye.